We are live. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick. We are in an earnings bonanza here. 100 and what is the number? 181 companies reporting earnings tonight. 112 companies reporting earnings this morning. 86 reporting earnings last night. Try to cover as many of those as we can. And that's the show, essentially. No guests today, so we'll do a lot of earnings and a lot of ticker time. So smash that like button, please, and let's get the show on the road. Good morning.
Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Now we bring on Joel, we bring on Dennis, we bring on Joel's charts whenever he decides to share them.
I knew you were going to say I was just in the mode of doing that. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to be as enthusiastic as Spencer. What do we got going on? We're down 3 1/4. We've been all over the map. Been high as 76, low of 29. Nothing in there. Just nothing, kind of like the market was yesterday. I guess we'll just focus on that close from yesterday at 51 even, right on the nose. Crude down 91 cents at 104.26. Gold down 30 cents at 1863.30. Silver perking up a little bit, up 14.6 cents at 22.73. Bitcoin support is support until it's taken out, and I say 38K is support, down $25 at 38,515. Ethereum futures, they just kind of muddling down here around 2,800, up $7 at 28.47. Good morning, Triple D.
Wow.
How the market's treating you today? How about that rally yesterday? Did
Markets would treat me
anybody
better
get-
than my hockey team, I'll tell you that much.
Hey, I was
Miserable
wondering about
mood.
that. How late did you stay up last night? Because the game didn't
I
start.
stay up late. That's why I'm tired here today, and I'm ticked off obviously here this morning as well. So
I saw the game didn't start till after 10 o'clock.
no, I know. And it's gonna be a rough week for me because these are late games. But I mean, you put 82 games in, you can't really give up, just because it's a late start. So tired. Teams tied 3-3, 5 minutes to go, and the goalie decides to throw the puck up the middle, and that's the game.
Sorry.
So tough day for me. Depressed about it, but anyways, the show must go on. We do have stocks moving, and yes, Joel,
Go Miami
I was
Heat.
impressed by the rally yesterday. To answer your question, before I went on the segue.
Yeah. What do you think? It was just I just think people got leaning too much one way, and it was all in that final hour. I mean, we were 14 handles off the low of the day starting that final hour. And boom, they just got the bids rolling, got it back over the previous yearly low, and people are just scrambling. I mean, it's good. I'm glad that we made a new low for the year and we rallied. It's just this ain't your mama papa's kind of rally that you build a foundation from in a strong foundation. Now that could happen today, right? Because we're gonna back and fill. We got the Fed meeting, but explosive. I mean, from 56 was low yesterday up to the pre-market high, 120 point rally. I mean, that is a big move.
It was impressive. What really held the market up yesterday was the growth stocks, though. And you can look in Kathy, ARKK, the stuff that was beaten down the most was not selling off. So, and that was maybe a tell that eventually we might turn it around. But all day, the entire day, ARKK was hanging green, and you could see the S&P is continuing to roll over. It was like growth stocks, were not participating. They were up. A lot of them were up most of the day. And the reason probably for that is they're so oversold. So, I mean, if we're going to rally, it's going to be those growth names that are going to be the names that take us higher and take us higher. Obviously, they take us higher quickly. So that's what we saw after 3 o'clock when the buyers started to come in. They were buying the beaten down growth names hand over fist, like the Roku's. Was trading up almost $10 from where it was trading just an hour earlier, or closed up over $10 from where it was just an hour earlier. I mean, this was a very impressive last hour. We could have been talking completely different on this show if it wasn't for that last hour of trading.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the fact that this is the second Monday in a row? Last Monday, too, let's not forget, was another great day for growth. Well, great day, maybe not great, but good day, right? Good day. All the growth stocks were up last Monday, and that didn't bode well for the rest of the week. So is this a case of deja vu all over again?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Right.
I mean, we're here again, and I think it's still going to be the same story. If you're chasing moves, you're doing it wrong in 2022. So we rally 150 points, and now you're buying, you're probably going to buy the top, or you're going to buy near. If you're selling off 150 points and now you're selling, then you get the whipsaw rally going back. So fading moves has worked very, very well in 2022. We talked about it before 2022 started. We've continued to talk about that. So to try to predict the next move is difficult, but in any regard, fading has been the trade. So am I coming in and buying stocks now? No, but we get a dip, maybe you pull back, and then you get an opportunity. You're always going to be buying and selling, but just don't chase. That's the main thing in this market right now. It has not paid to chase.
Not at all. All right, should we go into some of the earnings here? Because like I said, we got a couple hundred. We're not going to go through all of them, obviously, but we can go through some of the biggest ones.
Pick a few. Pick on a few. If you want, you can start away from earnings for a second and do the Western Digital.
All right, you know what? Let's do that, because that wasn't on the schedule, but it just came out 20 minutes
ago.
Yeah, we have Elliott Investment Management, which is a very well regarded activist firm. Getting involved in WDC here. They sent a letter to the board. They called for a full strategic review. They called for a separation of the company's flash unit. They think that WDC could be worth $100 per share by the end of next year, is what Elliott thinks.
And the stock's trading up 10%. We know activists will move stocks. So trading up huge here. I'm not chasing it, though. How, Joel, go ahead. I mean,
I don't know.
Big moves, bear market. It's hard to chase just because an activist comes out and says, yeah, it could be worth $100 a share. They're talking their buck. I mean, this is what they do. They take a big position. They disclose it. We'll throw a letter out there. We talk our book. We say, we think this could be worth $100 a share, and they hope to get the pop in the stock. I mean, if you're chasing that, you're giving them their profits. So I'm not chasing it.
Didn't Elliott come out a few years ago and say like AT&T was worth like $70 or something like that?
Well, I think you're right, Joel.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that?
Yeah.
Spencer, was that Elliott though? I don't know. If Elliott, I don't know. There was an activist in AT&T when it was $34 a share.
Yeah, I believe.
That came out with an absurd price target, which we all laughed correctly. Because the stock has just continued to leak. Obviously, it did get the spinoff, but I mean, it is down significantly from where it was, at $34 or $37 when they came up with that absurd price target. Yeah. I don't know if that was Elliott or not, but whoever that was.
It was Elliott.
Yeah. Look at that. There you go. You got history here.
Yeah.
And the history is not to chase these moves.
Elliott, obviously, he manages like billions of dollars, right? I mean, you have to, smart guy, very successful. You have to come in and say, that's like me going down to the local Kroger, telling the manager that they don't know what they're doing, that they got to do this, they got to put this shelf here, they got to redo everything, and they're going to increase their profits, 100%. I mean, these guys come in, they do these things, they buy the stock, and and here you are. So I wouldn't chase it. We'll see what happens today. Sometimes you do get an extra lift. You're trading near the pre-market high, 59.88. Not really seeing anything on the dailies. If I took it home overnight and I had it, the option short-term, I'd be like, okay, let's get over that pre-market high. Let's go 60. Let's go 65. Let's go 70. Let's go 75. But I don't see that happening. So.
Elliott Management is run by Paul Singer, by the way. If you don't know anything about Paul Singer, you should look into him. The guy's had a very interesting life. And by the way, I just want to show you something in Benzinga Pro real fast. Joel mentioned wasn't Elliott involved with AT&T? I'll be honest. I do not remember that happening. So what did I do? I went to my Benzinga Pro. I went to my newsfeed. I searched T for AT&T.
Yeah.
And then I went I searched for and then I went ELLIOTT, Elliott. Oh, look, every single headline we ever have that mentions
pretty
AT&T
cool.
and Elliott together. Boom. Look at this headline from 3 years ago, September of 2019.
Elliott does the letter to AT&T.
Sends a letter to the board. They say AT&T is worth $60 per share or more. That was in September of 19. And they wanted AT&T.
I think I just need to retire right now.
Your memory is like
that was
incredible.
They wanted AT&T to do spinoffs, and guess what? They did it. AT&T did it.
Joel has the most incredible memory.
That was incredible.
I said
memory.
70.
I'm impressed, Joel.
I said 70, and it was 60. Call me Pisher. Sorry about that.
Sorry about
Well, let's go to the.
I'm impressed. It impressed
No,
me.
it was very impressive, Joel.
Yeah, it is. It's
very
impressive. That Joel
Call it a
Elconin,
day.
man.
I'm
I
going
tell
home.
Get long
I am
calls.
And the fact that it took me 2 seconds to find that in pro is also impressive. Let's go to today's disaster stock of the day. It is Chegg, CHGG.
Oh,
it is down 40% in the overnight session here. Their earnings report was, as you can imagine, pretty disastrous.
Jeez.
And then, interestingly enough, they are. I mean, they're blaming like kids. Right? They're blaming college students for their financials. So the backward looking numbers, the earnings per share for last quarter, the sales for last quarter, they beat, but whatever. It's the forward looking numbers that matter. Their Q2 sales numbers their guidance came way below the estimate. Their fiscal year sales guidance also came about $100 million below the estimate there. From the estimate was in the mid 800 million range, and they guided in the mid 700 million range. So they missed that number, and just a disaster. And then on the call and in the statement, they were blaming kids are just no one's going to college apparently, or no one's taking courses, which I guess only gets you so far. But it comes off as strange when
$115 in the bubble of, and we're calling it officially the tech bubble of February 2021. It's now $15. Wow. Talking about a stock that's down 85% from the highs. Not interested in buying this dip. Maybe it bounces a buck or two, but forget about the 115. So many stocks look like this. The bubble has officially burst.
I don't know. I don't know if I can even give you any. Do you guys even want any monthlies on this? I mean,
give us a level if you want.
I don't want to. I mean,
I don't want to. It's just a disaster. I mean, you're coming in, and we've seen this again and again. You're buying stocks, and you know what? It'll go from 15 to 16. Like people are, messaging. Oh yeah, Teladoc. Look at Teladoc coming back. All right.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
It was $300. So we're excited about the 5-point rally from 3 days ago, and that was money to be made. But how many people tried to buy every Teladoc dip and got ruined by it?
Can I just read you this thing from the Chegg PR? Students continue to take fewer classes, and those they do take are often less rigorous with fewer or more limited assignments.
Doesn't sound bullish.
You know what it just sounds like? It just sounds like they're the bad guy from Scooby-Doo, and they're like, "Oh, you meddling kids! We would have gotten away with it too." Like, that's what it reminds me of.
Scooby-Doo.
That's honestly what it reminds me of.
There are two monthly lows back in November and December of 2017 at 1375 and 1383. So if you were trying to cover, see if it gets a $14, that would be, I don't know, just kind of hanging here, but why the heck not? It's not like the Teladoc setup. When I told you guys about Teladoc, I had 3 monthly lows at the $31 area. And so that was a little bit more of a little bit more to stand on. It did go to 28 and change that day. So that's it. That's wow, man. It's too early to call it a zero, but man, oh man.
There's going to be some zeros though, Joel. We don't know if it's Teladoc. We don't know if it's Chegg, but we do know these are the more likely candidates. So there is going to be, believe me, some zeros coming out of the tech bubble burst from 2021. And it just takes time. They don't go bankrupt overnight. They go bankrupt over the course of years. But there will be some zeros. Don't kid yourself. We don't know if it's Chegg, though.
I'm going in no particular order. I'm basically just looking at what stocks are moving the most off their report. So that's why I went to Chegg first, and that's why I want to go to Avis Budget next, because CAR got up to $320 last night. It's not there now, but it was there for a brief moment last night. I don't even, frankly, know how much we should even care about the actual financials here. There are some crazy adjustments in their earnings per share. The sales came in above estimates. That's cool, I guess. But their EPS is way off from the estimate, or from the year over year. I don't know. The EPS is meaningless here. The year over year comparison is a joke, but the stock is a joke, frankly. So it's all good.
Look where this went to. It went to 320, and then this is the
It's
upper
always
left.
wild.
Look at this. Upper left is the 15-minute after hours chart, right? 320. The upper right is the daily chart. And what do you know? The highs of the move are a little bit higher than that. 327.80. Was that the actual high? 327.80 and 324.83. So I don't know. Overhead supply, they got it. If this gets back up to 320 today, well, good for them. I don't know. See, 1,700 shares have traded this morning, so good luck if you want to get out of 1,000 lot. Kind of thin, but
It's thin,
I have nowhere.
it's
I'm not
wild,
buying
it's
it.
social media darling,
I'm not
so
buying
we
it.
know this trades with all those stocks. It's
Yeah.
disconnected somewhat from its fundamentals. I say somewhat because
Very.
yeah. I mean, there's just a group of stocks here that just trade. You can throw it in the whole GameStop category. It just trades wherever, and there's no fundamental traders that are coming in and bringing the price in because they've been crushed doing that before.
Exactly.
So it's a different world right now. As a group of stocks disconnected from their fundamental stories, CAR has been one of them. Makes it difficult to analyze a stock off of an earnings report. Is what we're saying.
Yeah, always difficult. A pair of major healthcare stocks reporting. Biogen, the calls are happening right now, and Pfizer also reported this morning. Biogen mentioned that their CEO is going to be retiring. They're looking for a new CEO. Their numbers were, I believe they were okay. Let me check on the actual numbers here for Biogen. The guidance that they gave was in line for the full year EPS. Same thing with the sales, inline guidance. Pfizer, same story. So
what about the biotechs? I mean, are they just disappeared from? When is it?
Well,
I
the
don't even
small
know
ones have.
all the small ones have, but if we even
XBI has just been an epic disaster. I bought some of that for the long-term account. Ooh, ouch. The retirement account, that has just been horrible. I actually took some of the loss just because I was like, I don't know if a lot of these companies are going to be so many going out of business. Maybe it just continues to leak. I guess the IBB is a better buy because it's got the bigger companies in there. But still, even that, there's so many stocks that are just beat up. I mean, it really doesn't do it justice to say the S&P is down 12 or 13% or whatever it is from the highs when you really look at the average stock. It really is like, that's not what that's not what the average stock looks like, down 12%. The average stock is down like 30%. So it feels a lot worse than S&P's 13% off the highs.
Wait, I'm sorry, real fast. Mea culpa on the Biogen thing. It sounds like less like the CEO is retiring and more like they're telling the CEO to go away. Also, I just saw this comment from the Biogen conference call. They announced that they are, as part of their overhaul strategy, they may choose to accelerate or end certain programs, which, when you think of Biogen programs, you think of Aduhelm, you think of the Alzheimer's program that has been much maligned since it kind of started a year ago. It sounds like that's going to be over with. So you can forget about
I think it's a good thing. New CEO. I think it's a good thing. I think that's why the stock is trading higher. Initially dipped on, and I looked at that. And I was like, I probably should buy that dip, but it was wide. It was like 202 to 206. And then, you could have tried to bid it up, but it came right back. So initial news algorithm wrong again because they're stupid. Boom, and the stock's back. I mean, CEO, when a stock's beaten down, CEO leaving the company is often a good thing. Stock's been rallying like crazy. CEO's leaving is a bad thing, but CEO hasn't done any something good for this company. Obviously for a long, long time, I've been a bag holder. Well, not a bag holder, shareholder, because I'm in from $47, but I've been a shareholder for a long time. It feels like I'm holding the bag because the stock used to be like $450. So you got to sell on that good Alzheimer's news. Sell the rip.
Yeah. What's going on with that Alzheimer's drug? Do we have any?
Well, they did have a little update on that one in this release, Joel, but they also said they have another one in the pipe too. So
wow.
I don't know. It basically, when the Medicare stuff came out, that basically cooked it.
Yeah. It's not going to be covered by Medicare. So what even
cooked it.
What even is the point if nobody can afford it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
I don't know. Okay.
What a bunch of dog stocks, man.
Well, and it's going to get more exciting. We have some big ones coming up.
Okay, let's go.
But I tell you, there's a lot, I haven't say dog stocks, but there's a lot of like mid caps, kind of not widely traded stocks.
Okay, so what about the travel theme here? We had Expedia and MGM Resorts last night. Okay.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked at the numbers for Expedia. I haven't known the last time I even used Expedia, honestly. But Expedia looked like EPS above estimates, bookings above estimates, sales above estimates, and then MGM, same story. So travel, the travel theme was in focus this week. How far have we recovered?
I think, we said this yesterday on the show, I believe. I think you've had a pretty good boom. I said I think the travel numbers coming in could be pretty good from all these travel stocks. I said this, I believe, yesterday's show. I'm just worried about going forward. If it's not all just sucked forward again, and then when the dust settles here, that it might not look as good. Like you can't just reopen forever, right? We've been talking about the reopening trade for a year and a half.
True.
I mean, we pretty much reopened. So people are going about and doing their stuff now. I'm going about and doing my things too. So that's all exciting. You get the pull forward here, just as much as those stocks got the pull forward with the COVID. They get the pull forward with the reopening trade to a certain extent too. But I still got to analyze from the airlines, and looking at that is they got this huge belief that the business travel is going to come back bigger than ever, and I do not believe that is the case. And those business class tickets are a hell of a lot more money than coach. So if they don't get the business class tickets back, those airlines may never get back to the profitability that they had in 2019, despite their lofty projections that they were giving last week, I believe, was Delta. So hope.
Dennis, the market clearly is pricing in some kind of a business class recovery. Because if you look at the airlines, Joe and I did this yesterday. If you look at the airlines and just compare the low cost carriers like Frontier and Spirit, compare those to the rest of the pack, they are getting punished because they don't have the business class.
Well, I would say Spirit is getting punished because yesterday they said that they're not going to go with the better price of JetBlue's deal.
Well,
so
that's part of it, sure. But I mean, ULCC and Saver and JetBlue, they're all underperforming.
Yeah,
now they're all involved.
A good point there.
They're all involved in this menage a trois. But those are the low cost. Well, maybe not JetBlue, but Spirit and ULCC are your low cost carriers, and they don't have the business class by design. So
I think the quarters are going to be fine. I think if you're just trading off the quarters, and this market is so short-term looking at prices and nothing, that it probably, if they beat, they'll probably buy these stocks up. It is like, I know everybody's got this belief, and I've said this before, that the market is so smart, it looks out 9 months. This market is stupid. This market doesn't look out 9 minutes. So it gets the numbers, and then, oh my gosh, some of these airlines, they beat. Whoa, look at that. Well, we just got done saying you got the reopen. They're going to probably beat on these numbers. So maybe there's a play to own these things into the reports. Maybe there is.
I just look at the Expedia and throw out the high, throw out the low, 168 to 186 and change. First things first, like if this is a rally of rallies and you want to, this is going to be a great day for Expedia, then you're going to go up to yesterday's high. You're going to take out 178.02 and you're going to work your way into the 180 handle. It's not doing that. It's still $2.50 away. On the downside, like I said, I'm throwing out the high and the low. Double close area from Friday and Monday, 74.75, 74.81. Now, if that doesn't hold, I think you got some look on the downside. Don't think you'll see yesterday's low at 69.26, but that double close area pretty important to me, and didn't really participate in that late day rally.
And then what about MGM here, Joel? This should provide some sort of a hint for Caesars, who is tonight, I believe. Yeah, Caesars is tonight.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think people are going to go out and do stuff. I do think there's a reopening trade. I do think that some of these numbers are going to beat, but it's like, what are they going to say? There's always the boogeyman that they might say something, but maybe this company's got a job to be somewhat optimistic too. So it's been pretty tough times here. So
Tough chart. I mean, look at this.
These
chart.
are all tough charts, Joe, because they just chop around. Every chart
like
is
everything.
a mess.
Like I would say, 42 is a pretty good number, but on Friday we blasted through 42, right? And I guess if you got a focused number today, we see you're a buck away from Friday's high, 43.26. So tough. I'd say
All
stay
tough.
green. Stay green. If you don't stay green, then boom, that closed 41.97. Like I said, the market doesn't feel the market environment right now that everything is going to go back to yesterday's lows, right? 2-day Fed meeting, all the stuff up in the air. So I better hold the close. 41.97, juicy target, 43.26. That was Friday's high.
And in this market, it's not easy being green.
For what it's worth, Jolly B says business class has been full on their last 3 flights. So I'll tell you what, when I fly on Thursday, I'll give you guys a boots on the ground report.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
That's good news.
Yeah. What about BP? Their report is out this morning. It was a good one. And remember that there's the overhang of the Russia situation, right? Because they're divesting of their
they wrote all that off.
Yeah, they already wrote all that off. So we already knew about that going in, right? The earnings beat, okay, on an EPS and sales basis, and they're really stepping on the gas here on their buyback. All right, they bought back $1.6 billion worth of shares in the first quarter. They're going to be doing a $2.5 billion dollar buyback in Q2. So they're really buying back their own stock here a lot aggressively.
Oh
wow,
man,
that oil stock.
Again, this has already been trading in Europe for 4 or 5 hours. So it's not like it's just like, oh, now they don't like the report. I mean, they've already been pricing this report since 2:30 in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning since Europe opened. I can't chase anything. I'm not going to chase something up 5%. I think the oil stock, I think that, run into oil stocks, we got to own oil stocks. I think that's over. I feel like prices are going to start to come in. I feel like the oil prices are going to start to come down. I feel like we're at peak inflation right now, and I feel like the Fed is going to actually win on the inflation war. And that's a good thing for stocks, but it's not a good thing for commodities. If you're in commodities and you've been hiding out there and you're buying like crazy on this dip just thinking inflation's going up forever, I think you're wrong. I think you're on the wrong side of the trade. I don't think inflation is just going to continue to go up to historical rates. I think you're going to start to see some soft numbers. I don't know if it's going to see in the next report, but it's going to start to come. And it's just because people are doing less stuff.
Yeah, that's my question. Why? Just because less stuff?
Yeah, 100%. The whole everything's driven on that. People are going.
I think that might be in Canada, but if I look around here in the United States, people are spending money left and right.
I don't know if they are anymore, Mitch. I don't know if that's the case anymore.
Well, fortunately, we have consumer spending. We can look at the numbers. I don't know what they are.
Again, they're backward looking though. So we just.
I know, but that's all we've got. That is. What do you mean?
No. We don't look at backward. Those numbers are useless.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do we want to go?
It's logic.
You want to?
I've made a lot of money in my
your contractor said one contract.
Just trading off of logic. You got mortgage rates going up. I know, Spencer, you believe nobody's got a variable. I talked to 4 people on the weekend. They're like, oh, my variable rate went up. There's a lot of people that have a variable rate mortgage.
Okay.
Those mortgage prices are going to go up substantially. There's going to be less money to spend. This is why this has happened. This is why I've already been proven right on this. This is why the market has come down. This is why we were selling stocks back last year when I raised up to 50% cash. When I told everybody on this show that I raised up to 50% cash, because we predicted that people are going to be having less discretionary income going forward. Now the market is trying to catch up with those beliefs. Now we can just throw it in and say, yeah, the inflation's going to get in check and maybe interest rates won't continue to go up. That could happen, but we know interest rates are still going to go up for the foreseeable future here. But that's why I say I'm not buying stocks until I get that first soft number, until I get that first number where inflation doesn't look so hot. But I think it's coming. And maybe I'm wrong on it, Mitch. Maybe inflation will continue to go higher. But I think with people with less money to spend is going to hit the economy. That's called logic.
Speaking of rates, when we might know more tomorrow, right? There's a Fed meeting. The market is almost 100% certain that they're going to raise rates a half a point. So it's not a question of will they; it's a question of what will they do beyond tomorrow. How high are they going to go? The market, we've discussed this. The market's pricing in the fact that they're already at 2% when we're at 0.25%. So we'll see. But tomorrow we should know more. At the Fed, 2:00 is the announcement. 2:30 is the press conference. That'll be tomorrow.
BP, I just want to tell you, if you're looking for a little bit more, this on last week, it's filling the gap. And if you're looking for more on the upside, you did have a high at 30.78. That was on April 22nd. So that'd be another target. Like Dennis said, it's already traded. A lot of this is, the price discovery is already in. But Dennis, and I know you're going to get this right away, but guess what snuck back into the top 10 components of the S&P 500?
ExxonMobil.
Yep.
This is such
Sneak
an
it in
awesome
there.
rally. I mean, think about it. We can sell the top on all these commodity stocks. I mean, everybody is still buying them hand over fist because they're trending higher. I'm making a prediction that there's going to be less oil demand than there was 3 or 4 months ago going forward. That's all it is. Everything is just predictions. But I can see the boats, and boats use a hell of a lot of gas. That's one example.
That's
see
a lot of gas. Yep.
A lot of gas. I see it. People are like, I'm not filling up my boat. It's going to cost me $1,000 to fill my boat. Sell it. That is what's happening. Like, at least around me, and I'm in this boating area. It's a huge boating area. There's boats for sale everywhere. Prices went way up last year, pulled forward, and they went off a cliff. And why? Because people don't want to pay those gas prices. That's the same thing to the cars. Why do you think Ford and GM? Why do you think Ford and GM are where they are? PE of 6. This doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense. Who the hell's buying the $75,000 Ram?
Well, how much for the boats? How much you think of it as people were like, oh, we're trapped at home in a pandemic. I need a boat to get outside. And then they're
last
like,
year, yes,
yeah. Now they're like, am I really a boat guy? I don't know if I'm really a boat guy in hindsight.
All of that.
Yeah, okay.
That's in there too for sure. But now you've bought a boat last year. First-time boater, not really a boat person, and now it's going to cost you $1,000 or $2,000, or if you got some yacht or some big boat, like $5,000 to fill up your boat to go out. People are going to be like, no, let's just move on to a different fun thing to do. But it's not that the boats are going to implode; it's the cars. It's the main thing is the trucks. I don't think GM and Ford going forward, despite their guidance, which sounded okay, I just don't see it. I don't see people going and buying these gas guzzling cars. Or trucks at ridiculously inflated prices. Like, if the prices of your trucks are up 20-30% year over year.
I know.
So I see demand destruction happening. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's selective perception on my part.
For some of the big ticket stuff, but we don't really, as far as the other things, we don't really know yet. We'll find out.
People are always going to buy food. People got to buy clothing.
Talking about
they need
food.
shelter.
I'm talking about.
But we are seeing it. What about Williams-Sonoma? Why do you think that stock is where it's at? We've given so many examples of this before. It's already starting to happen. So, but I'm trying to tell you, it's not the end of the world here. I'm bringing this all around to a bull thesis, but people aren't reading in between it. If we get inflation in check, which I believe we will, that doesn't mean we're going back to zero inflation, people in the chat. I'm not saying prices aren't going to go up anymore, but we're not going to be flying at this. We're flying right now, and we know we've done this exercise at 15, 16%. It's not 8. When you go back to the way the CPI used to be calculated, we're flying at 16. I'm saying it's going to go back to like down a little bit. We're going up. If the CPI number is BS 8, maybe the next report's only 7.5. Well, that's a tick down, and the market is going to applaud that. It doesn't have to go back down to 2% inflation for stocks to go higher. So I do believe in the next CPI report or the next one after that, you're going to start to see inflation not as hot, and the market is going to rip on that.
I hope you're right.
I'm telling you, man.
I hope you're right.
I am starting to buy stocks. You got to buy, not these growthy but nothingness stocks. But I think the time to be super bearish and the time to load up commodity stocks has passed. I think it's time to start reallocating, taking some stocks from your commodity portfolio to everybody, on Twitter built to 100% on margin because they're all geniuses, and starting to reallocate to some of these other stocks that have been absolutely murdered. So there's some opportunity going to be had here. So it sounds like I'm bearish, but I'm actually bullish, if that makes any sense.
No, I'm following you. No, I've been following. You've been very consistent.
We
with
wrote an
that
article on it,
scenario.
Joel. You wrote an article for me. I laid it out, and I think it's going to be potentially at the next CPI number. I'm like, if you buy now, you're early because people are still spooked that inflation is going to just continue. We're going to hyperinflation. It's just going to go. And people are just going to spend money even if they don't have it. Okay, but that's a tough thing to do. Spend money that you don't have. We've done that for 35 years borrowing. The money isn't cheap anymore to borrow.
No, it's not. I hope you're right. And we'll find out next Wednesday. CPI next Wednesday. Let's look ahead to tonight a little bit on the earnings front, because the ones reporting this morning and last night, as they said, are not super interesting. Tonight, though, AMD, Airbnb, Starbucks, Lyft, some big guns reporting tonight.
I could get talked into Airbnb, probably not ahead of the report, just because I'm scared to own anything ahead of the report, but that would go on my shopping list. What's the PE on Air? They make money, don't they? Or they're at least projected to make money. Airbnb is a sneaky stock because I don't think it's a crazy valuation like a lot of these other names. I don't know if you can look that up, Spencer.
It's not. 4P is 90, 91. It's high.
Yeah, is it that far going? Are you going on the trailing or the forward?
No,
because
that was the forward. But let me do something else here real fast. Let me do something else here. Give me a second.
I was looking at some analysis, and I don't know where I was seeing it though, but they had it projected like going out 2 to 3 years that this thing could actually be trading on a P of like 30. Like if you're going out on projections.
Well,
going out 2 to 3
the crazy
years.
thing about Airbnb,
because they're growing. It's growing like crazy.
Airbnb's PE is it never really. Well, they've only been profitable on a PE basis for a couple quarters, so we don't have much history here to go off of.
In any regard, I could be talked into a stock like this. There's a lot of stocks I'm not going to be talked in because there's no path to profitability. Airbnb is already profitable, and that's a company that's just got it figured out. I mean, they're making so much, and the app that's been created. I could get talked into the stock. I'm not in it, but I could get talked into a stock like this.
Tough
this
chart
is a growthy
too,
name.
man. Yeah, this is once again. I mean, it's volatile. I guess if you just go off this recent move here, if you could look at it from a retracement perspective, coming off this low, even though it's not the all-time low, you had a high one. This is called 180 to what? It's about a 50-point move, right? So half of that one. Hanging right in here, the 50% retracement is probably 153, 154. So see if you can get some ground here. Took out support yesterday, but just like everything else, took out support and rallied back. I don't see any major resistance ahead of the report.
I'm still long.
You're long Airbnb?
Yeah. Oh, as a reminder, speaking of being long or not long, I did sell my Twitter yesterday, everyone, in case you were keeping tabs on me. I saw the headline that Elon Musk is looking for outside financing, and I thought, he's already trying to cop out.
I scared you out.
He's already trying to cop out. So
it's my fault. I blame myself for that one.
No, I said literally Elon. It was Elon. Elon said, he didn't say anything. There was a report that he is looking for more outside money to commit less of his own capital, and I interpreted that to mean he already is having some buyer's remorse, and so I was like, I don't care.
But Dennis, I mean, with your inflation thing and the high ticket items, so I guess people are just going to be buying Teslas, right?
The one issue is so it's got two factors happening here, though, Joel, is the higher gas prices actually do help Tesla. It's a higher ticket item, but people are like, I'm sick of filling up my car. I'm going electric, and they think of Tesla right away. So there's a reason that, Tesla stays, there's actually a fundamental reason why this stays up as well. The EV story that obviously cooled off substantially over the course of the last year is still intact. We are still going electric. It hasn't stopped. It's kind of just been delayed a little bit for some of these companies, but I mean, it's still coming. So the EV revolution, to quote Kathy Wood, is coming. People are going to be using less gas 10 years from now. Don't kid yourself. But, you know, is it all going to be Teslas? I've argued before there's going to be GM and Ford participating in that. I did not foresee this demand destruction, this inflation having demand destruction to knock Ford and GM down. Ford and GM will be a buy at some point in time because they're going to be big EV plays too. But I just think the headwinds from their traditional automotive sales, like gas guzzling pickups, is going to be an issue. But, you know, the electric's coming. The Ford F-150 Lightning is coming, and that's going to be, you know, important too. If you're buying Ford and holding it for a decade here, maybe you're going to be happy. But Tesla still is, you know, it's still going to stay. It's not like it's just going to implode here overnight because all of a sudden we decide we don't like EVs. I think they like EVs more with higher gas prices.
I mean, I agree. And not just Ford, GM. At a certain point, and I've never looked seriously at any of the other EV stocks, but at a certain point, you know, we will get some clarity between the Rivians and the Fiskars of the world. Whoever gets there first, there being mass production, right, and deliveries, whoever gets there first, hey, why not take a flyer? But we're a couple years out from that happening, unfortunately. Anyway, back to tonight. Let's go to AMD, Joel. That's the big one.
Okay.
We will be streaming this earnings call. By the way, we're going to be streaming the AMD and the Airbnb earnings calls tonight on our channel because we got interest in both. How is AMD looking? Is it just hanging out? It is hanging out. That's good news, right?
I think AMD.
Yeah, I mean,
let's go ahead. Sorry. I was going to say, I own it. I'm bag holding it. I think it's put in a nice little bottom here. But again, every time it seems to put in a bottom, we just take it out again.
I know.
So I don't know what to say. I bag holding this thing from 112. And I stuck it in the long-term portfolio because I want a little more growthy stuff. And I thought at P25 wasn't bad. Now the P is like down at 22 or 21 for one of the biggest chip makers. Chips aren't going away. I think if you're buying AMD at 89, 90, I think you're going to be happy 5 years from now. But are you going to be happy 5 days from now? Probably
not. Big support, 84. 84 was your March low. Good relatives, your April low. Good relative strength on the break that we had, the 1 day break in May. Also, that backs up. That was your July 2021 low. So big support. Now you're $5 off it, right? So now people are like, oh, I missed the boat. So I think you find even on a little bit of a disappointing report, I think you still find buyers in this one. Longer term, when you have like 4 or 5 monthly lows at 100 and then you take it out, you can't get super excited about the stock until there are a lot of people like, well, if it gets back to 100, I'm gonna scratch this trade. So 80 to 100, 90 right in the middle, throwing a dart.
That's fair enough. And then Starbucks is the last of what I would call the big ones, and the Lyft. Starbucks and Lyft both report tonight. Those are the two bigger ones of the 110.
This Starbucks, man. This is when Schultz came in, right?
Well, I saw this thing at 100. So happy I did that.
Yeah.
He came in. I'll tell you when he came in. He came in at.
I can tell you right here.
It was like April 1st.
Yep, right here. Boom. I said that's bad. That's bad that he had to come back to the car. I mean, what's a cup of coffee there? Like $9 now?
I don't know. There's the one by me, and I swear they're never open.
They're not. I know. They're going to be closing. There's some big write-offs coming. They got to be jammed on the real estate.
You guys are getting crazy.
No, what do you mean? Getting crazy?
I didn't say anything.
My Starbucks is always open, so there's a bunch of them all around me.
So there's what? How many?
Maybe they don't close them in Canada.
How do they even compete with Tim Hortons?
Because you have that upscale coffee drinker that wants the experience of going to a Starbucks. I that was my argument when the stock was $5 years ago, and I was dead wrong on it. I was like, nobody's buying $5 coffee when they can buy $1 coffee. Well, I don't know. The $1 coffee is going up in price, so maybe they're price competitive now.
I'll just Costco coffee, man. That's the best. Get that the Colombian
All
Costco
of
The
Bros, now we're gonna
man.
go.
Now we're going.
The
How is Bros doing,
bros.
Mitch? How is Bros doing?
The bros, man. The bros.
Hanging out.
Who
Don't
wants,
you wanna just
you
be a
want your
bro?
coffee when you get up in the morning? You want it piping hot at your home. You don't want to get out and drive somewhere, wait for a drive-through. I think short all of them. Short Bros. I got a spread for you. Short Bros, short Starbucks.
When the windmill calls, the windmill goes calling. You
So-
got to go
so-
get your windmill
So
coffee.
that means Joel would also want to go long KDP, right? Keurig Dr. Pepper. He's
Oh,
Keurig.
it's all about the coke.
No, I
Getting the
want to go long
cocaine again.
Costco coffee
Yeah,
futures.
remember, he's
dude.
going to put Coke back in there.
Yeah,
The
coke
real
is coming
cocaine
back,
in the
man.
Coke.
Don't worry. We're
Yeah,
good.
that was really a great thing to tweet out. I really commend him for that one.
This
That
guy's
was
going to run Twitter.
that was
this guy runs
brilliant. Yeah, that was
He's a genius. I mean,
great
Musk is a
message to
genius,
send to
but
our
he
young
definitely his
children
social
in
media
society.
accounts.
Yeah,
I'm scared of once he owns Twitter of like what he's going to be tweeting. I'm actually scared.
If Dennis, if
That's why you sold it. I talked you out of it. There's a big if there.
you did not talk,
He
me
can
out of
just
it.
have a dream and wake up, and the dream did not involve Twitter, and say, "Nah, I'm out because I just changed my mind."
Yeah,
That can happen. $1 billion later, it's like, well, that's no big deal. I lose $1 billion on Tesla all the time. And the stock goes
yeah.
down. Yeah.
yeah. So he pays a breakup fee, and that's that, right?
That's a scary thing. That's
Yeah.
why I was like, no.
Yeah.
I know Buffett's getting into risk arbitrage, but I still think Buffett, $78. I would have rang the register at 85 or 80 or coming in.
85 or 80. What?
He was long the stock
Before.
he could have rang the register at $86 that day, $85, $84, $83 on day one.
Yeah,
they're all day.
Okay.
He bought that thing. Don't kid yourself. He didn't buy that thing on the risk arb. He's talking it now. He bought that thing before. We know he bought it
there
before.
was two
And
purchases.
a week later, got taken over. You got lucky that it got taken over. Ring the register when your stock gets taken over. I think
There's
Buffett's
two
gonna be wrong on
purchases,
this one.
Dennis. The first purchase, right, was not that was a genuine investment in a company.
Yes.
But the second purchases and everything beyond that, everything in this calendar year, that was all Warren. That was all risk arb from Warren. He said so.
I think he's wrong on the risk arb of this. I don't like the risk reward on this one at all. Still, $78. I know it's got 95. It looks attractive, but I just think if it doesn't go through, I think the stock's at $50, not 65.
Probably, yeah, probably.
But I think a lot of risk arbs don't look at it that way. They're like, well, they naturally look that, okay, it came from 65. I liked it at 65. Warren's thinking I bought it at 65 without a deal on the table. Now it's down to 75. Why would I sell it here? But we're not in Kansas anymore.
No,
and Take-Two, EA, all these gaming stocks have
Your
just
point
been
is valid. Yeah, it has to
hit
catch
hard.
up. It has to catch up. So since the deal was announced, EA has fallen 10%. I think Take-Two is down to 20% since the Activision deal was announced. So it's got to catch up to those two.
I know. I still have a little bit of Take-Two. I should have sold it all.
Yeah.
Should have sold everything. Shouldn't have been 50% stocks.
I don't know.
I'm still. Me and Drake are still battling it out on Fortnite. So
that's not
Drake's
Take-Two. Okay. Let's do some ticker time here. There's a bunch of tickers from the chat being dropped in throughout the show here. How's Comcast doing?
so you're getting killed.
That's still stock?
I know Paramount reported this morning. The conference call is going on right now, and their report was okay.
That's a big.
They hit that anyways.
Wow.
Yeah, they hit it anyway. Comcast report was okay as well, but they hit it anyways. I thought it was okay. I don't know.
I'm still not a fan of. I'm not even a fan of Comcast or AT&T or any of them for that reason, right there. I don't know if you can see my fingers, but that's called cord cutting. It's not stopping.
Well, that's why. I mean, that's why they've got the Comcast
streaming businesses.
Yeah,
they're
Comcast
trying to compete.
Peacock, yeah.
What's like the dividend yield on Comcast?
But I know when you buy a $5 streaming Peacock, it isn't like $100 cable bill. There was some big money.
Well, that right there is the rub, right? Is what essentially happened over the last decade is Hollywood, basically, not Hollywood so much as the entire broadcast ecosystem replaced one business model, right? The cable model, the bundle, with a model that's not as good, the streaming model.
Yeah.
So now everybody gets less money. It's better for the consumer, but it's worse for everybody else.
It's way better for the consumer for
sure. But it's worse for everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's the way it goes sometimes. It's not as good at the streaming model.
Potential double bottom if you're in. What's the yield up to this thing now? Man, that is a big move. Look at that. Yeah, you know what the sad thing is too is like, man, just big red candles all over the place. So I'd be looking maybe 39.03. That was your July 2020 low. So Comcast, whew,
Yeah.
that just really got beat. Did it get started off
Verizon's
in
coming
green
down now too. My theory has taken years to come into fruition.
I know it did.
I've hated Verizon, AT&T, and Comcast for a long time. They're starting to finally come down. I'll even throw. We can even throw BC in this mix. I don't like it either. If you're on
Oh my
BC,
gosh, that Verizon,
tasty,
that Verizon
tasty
chart,
dividend.
that Verizon.
Which one, Dennis?
BCE, which is Bell Canada.
Oh,
Same
Bell
thing.
Canada.
Cord cutting.
How,
hit
Joel,
number.
how many down days are on Verizon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
Yeah,
down days in a row.
I guess if you could look both ways on something and you say, wow, 51 was great support. Whoa, you took that out. You talk about a heatless short here. Unbelievable. Man, oh man.
Goldman did that.
It was Goldman?
Yeah, Goldman downgraded it to sell, I believe. I think it was sell. And that stock has not really looked back since. Goldman, I think, downgraded it either on the 22nd or the 25th. I'm not sure which one, but it was right in there. I think it was the 22nd. I think they downgraded on the 22nd. And then that started this cascade of death, of doom here. And, you can say, oh, it's only down $6. It's Verizon. This is a widely owned stock that moves like $1, in a month. And now it just moved down $7 or $9 in the course of like 8 trading sessions. That's a hammering. That's overall market too effects. Wow. I mean, we've been talking about money hiding in these places, probably hiding in Verizon as well. People that have to be invested in equities but they're nervous. Procter Gamble starting to break. I mean, there's so many stocks. XLP, we talked about this yesterday too. You were starting to see, this money coming out of all of these sectors that everybody was hiding in, that they said were safe. And we've been saying that they're not, and they're not.
Okay, it has come to my attention that we don't have a lot of likes on today's show.
Oh my gosh, I'll like the show right now.
Joel,
I like the show for once.
The like to viewer ratio is dramatically below where it should be. Let's get up to 600.
298, 303. Joel's gonna help out.
I already did.
Yeah, Joel likes the show. He really does like the show. He doesn't do it.
He acts like he doesn't
really
like
does
us,
like it.
He likes us. He acts like he doesn't, but he does.
Yeah, but he really does.
It's like I feel like I'm in
closet.
I feel like I'm in like 7th grade. Oh, could you ask?
Could you ask? Do you wanna be
I
my
kind of
friend?
I kind of like that girl. Can you ask her if she likes me? That kind of.
And you pass the notes back and forth, but now they just text each other.
Yes, exactly.
Is there note? Is probably no note passing in class anymore at all. It's all just texting. Give me that phone. I'm gonna read your text. Yeah.
These kids can text in their pocket, like with their phones in their pockets. They can like text and do it correctly. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Bill Barr says I'm too bullish today, and that's why there's less likes. They like it when I'm bearish. They come for my bearishness. They stay for Joel's jokes. They come for my bearishness, and they stay for Joel's jokes.
All right. A couple more stocks here. A couple more minutes left. Let's look at. Someone's asking about Tattooed Chef. What do you want us to say about it? It's at an all-time low.
These are not the stocks you're looking for. Although I will say,
low.
Well, yeah, I know. We can't own stocks that are making new all-time lows. Even in the yesterday Kathy rally, the stock couldn't rally. But maybe eventually there's, but again, if you're trying to just be the hero and say this is the bottom, today is the day. There was somebody doing that yesterday and the day before and the day before. The odds are not with you. So we like the odds in our favor, not against us. Buying stocks that are making new all-time lows puts the odds out of your favor.
This is, man, I wish I could do a trend line here. Move it up a little bit, but that's when you buy, maybe attempt to buy. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could just have my, I don't
go along chefs that got tattoos.
That's
I don't know what is tattooed chef. I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you.
If I had Oculus goggles, I could do.
I actually do like tattoos.
You do know what it is.
A normal life, I actually would go along a chef with tattoos, but
no,
what is tattooed chef? What do they do?
It's meatless.
Oh gosh, it's
they're
a
beyond
meatless
meat
thing.
here. They're beyond meat here.
I'm all about meat.
Yeah.
What I want this.
Tattooed chef foods are pretty good. I've had them. They're good.
Nobody likes meat anymore. Remember when the world was cool, Joel, and we all liked meat? Now nobody likes meat.
There you go.
I like meat.
There's your trend line there for you, baby. And
Tyson's
that's like, that's like a black diamond there. Look at that one.
Tattoo Chef, it's not
Straight
it's
down.
not all vegan, but RG says, but it's really not bad. I'm telling you, some of their frozen food's pretty good.
Donk and Dave, I'm with you. I like bacon.
I love bacon. What about? Oh man, there's a few
Turkey
tickers that I
bacon.
wanted to get to. I'm looking for tickers you guys give me. I'm looking for some. Okay, how's John Deere doing? How's DE?
That's in a crowded trade where everybody's hiding because we all need farming equipment and new farming equipment. The stock is now broken. It is broken trend. It's consolidated here for 6 or 7 days. I believe that consolidation will resolve itself. I got to watch what I say because when's the earnings report?
Oh, I'm glad you asked because I don't know.
Okay, maybe quickly look that up before I give my bearish
Wow.
thesis. But I believe if there's no earnings report coming up in the foreseeable future, I think John Deere will resolve itself to the downside. I would be a seller of John Deere.
I'm on
Boy,
the opposite.
you got some major.
That's why we have a
positions
market
there.
match.
May 20th, Dennis. May 20th. So it's not for a while.
He's got some time. I'm bearish.
So
John
this
Deere.
is my
Don't
thing
like
with
it.
this. The one thing that I think is coming and really quickly is the midterms, right? What is going to be talked about by a lot of the candidates? Infrastructure. So that's why I'm looking at DE, CAT. I think they're good pullbacks here, but hey, that's how it is, right, Dennis?
You've got that, and that could be the case too. And you are buying stronger stocks. I'll give you that. I mean, Caterpillar's, actually not Caterpillar. It's kind of been going nowhere, but Deere has been stronger. I just think trend's broken now, Mitch. I feel like this is the egg. This is, the commodity trade. It's all mixed in there together, and it's been getting that love. And I just, if I'm going with my thesis that higher prices, like the extreme increase in higher prices, not that higher prices are behind us, but that the rate of increase is going to start to come in, then I don't want to own John Deere.
I'll show
'Cause
you
it's
why
just mixed
really
in there.
quickly. At least for me, what's pointing me is the sector chart. This is the sector monthly. It's been holding really well and now starting to give us that nice reversal candle at the bottom of the support, coming up to resistance, looking like it's going to break out. That's
What
just
else
the
is in the
sector.
industrials there? What is that? Because I don't see
All
anything in the whole
industrials.
world
So
breaking
you
out.
got
What chart
shipping,
is that?
ports, farming, all the industries in the industrial sector.
How long is
are
that
in
chart?
this.
That's the index that the XL.
Oh, it's 2-year chart.
No, this goes back to 90s. This is
Oh,
just
you got a
all
really long
industrial
chart.
stocks.
But Dennis,
You're going like a long term. Mitch is like looking at these things as long-term investments here.
well,
Rotation.
Dennis, a lot of that index is also like defense stocks, like Lockheed is in there, Waste Management is in there. Which wow, I didn't realize how far that came off.
Waste management.
They've all run so
airlines.
far. Everybody's hiding in these things. I think they're going to get punished for it. That's just my opinion. Mitch might be right. He's on the other side of the trade. Who knows?
Yeah, my thing is midterms. Do they start bringing these kind of stocks up during the midterms?
Perhaps. I didn't realize that GE's in the 70s. Anyway,
the stock been crushed, man. There's been this last week and a half, it hasn't been tech stocks getting ruined here. The odd tech stock has been ruined, but it has been some of those widely held names that people were deemed as safety. I mean, that GE chart, look at that thing. I mean, $90 to 72 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading sessions.
Yeah.
These are big down moves. This is why your indices have started coming down hard. Not just GE, but there's a lot of widely owned stocks that are starting to look like this. Johnson & Johnson broke trend here too. You can just keep going through. There's so many. I mean, Pfizer, Merck has held up. Merck has held up very well. I almost want to sell that because I'm long on that still. AbbVie's broken trend. I mean, there's just so many that have these were going up because they were selling growth and just buying other things. And now they just decided they're going to sell everything. So maybe that's a sign of, the turn, that when they start selling everything, it's a washout and we can safely get in. I'm looking for that turn, but I'm waiting for that CPI number.
And no more next week. All right. That is gonna, I think, do it for the show. We again didn't have a guest today, but that's okay because there's a lot of takers coming from the chat. I know we didn't cover all of them. Joel will cover more as he always does on.
We did do Pfizer. Did we do Pfizer?
I think we looked at it briefly with Biogen. How was the stock doing? Also, I noticed. Sorry, do Pfizer, and then I'll mention what I was going to say.
Wow. Dipped down to 46.60. Back up. Decent. I'd say you hold yesterday. What is that? 47, 46. You got a couple support levels there. 47.46 yesterday's low, and then that low back on April 25th, 47.12. So it looks like you got pretty good support in the lower $47 handle.
I noticed Match Group MTCH down today, but I don't know why. They report earnings tonight, so that was an interesting candle in MTCH. Not sure what that's about though. Not a lot of volume.
All right, I'll let you guys take it from here. I'll check in with you later on Triple Dip.
That's going to be a wrap. Listen, everyone, before we go, a couple of housekeeping items. Number one, if you haven't checked out the new page, benzinga.com/premarket, check it out. Okay, you can watch our show there. You can see all the ratings of the day, all the movers of the day. It's a page that I've made part of my morning routine when I get in. So benzinga.com/premarket. Step one. Step two, that QR code that's on the screen, that takes you to the sign-up page for the FinTwit 2022 conference, which is next week. I'll be there. Mr. Neil Hamilton will be there. Mr. Luke Jacoby will be there. Nick Shaheen will be there. A whole bunch of us will be there, hanging out, talking trading, just having fun. Scan that QR code, get $200 off your ticket to next week's FinTwit conference in Vegas at the Aria Hotel and Casino. And we're doing better on likes. We're at 553. Would be great if we can get to 600. And that's the show. So, as always, please remember that all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Thanks to all of you watching us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch. And yeah, even those few of you watching on LinkedIn. There was like 2 of you, but hello. Okay, that's the show for today. We're going to end it now. Go over to live trading with Benzinga. Ryan, Mitch, I hope Zunaid is back today. I know he was feeling a little bit under the weather yesterday. So I hope he's back. And I'll see you guys a little bit later. Good luck at the Open. And I hope today is as green as it was yesterday.